Hey friends, welcome to webscript.info. My name is Rizwan Khan, and today we are going to implement a vertical scroll widget without having a vertical scroll bar. Yeah, right, correct. So here you can see we have widgets on the right side. You can see my cursor, right? So I can click on one of them, right? One of these widgets, and I can navigate to a particular section of my application, right? Or website. Also the same pattern I have over here, say like me project overview profile contact. So these four and these four widgets are same. Let me show you how it works. So let's click on the second. I'm already on the first section, so there is no way to navigate, right? Let's click on the second one, and you can see this is my project overview section. Then I have my profile section, my details, my social media connects and everything. Then last, like if you have any project, you can contact me, and I'm not sure about that. So here we have four section, and these are also the same thing. And here let's go to the profile one, and it's a very simple one. I haven't coded a lot of styling over here, but just the raw css with for animations and all those stuff, right? And javascript is like key thing in this application. So here it is like that. So we can do this in a very simplest way. Let's start. So now let's create our files. Let's create first index.html file, index.html, and then we are going to create a style sheet, and the most important file to control the visits, to control the contents, we need to create index.js file as well. It's a JavaScript file, right? Now let's create the basic HTML5 template, right? So this is our basic HTML5 templates, and let's close this thing. As you can see here, we're going to give a heading like a vertical scroll widget without scroll bar. Okay, now let's first add a main, right? So here we'll say main, and within the main we'll have a container, right? So we'll say container, and container is going to hold everything, all my contents. So right now we have four different contents over this, so we can have all four contents within the container. And so let's write those with a class content, and we need the four content. We'll say this thing, right? So here we'll just give something like with h1 tag content 1. Now let's copy this thing, paste over here, paste over here, paste over here. Now also we need to have the widgets. We'll say widgets, and within the widgets we'll say we need four widgets like this. We have 1 2 3 4, so we can navigate to different sections, right? So we'll say hash, and here for now we'll have just number, but actually we don't need anything for the widgets because that's in just css 3 and say 4. Okay, now let's open this file in our live application as a live server, so we can see so here we have all four contents, and so these four contents will act as the four different pages in your and our case, right? So let's go and write the css file as well. So let's first remove the default margin and padding from the browser. So we'll say margin 0 and padding, that's also 0, right? Save this, and we need to include this css file over here so we can see the changes, right? Say style.css, and let's refresh. Yeah, so it worked. Now let's go to the style. Now let's write the container. So container is just our normal file, and we are not going to write any css for it right now, but for the content, right? So we'll say content, we'll say width, that is going to be 100%, and height, for each content we need a complete height, right? So whatever the visible height, we'll say 100 vh, and next we'll say display flex, and justify content, that is going to center, line items, that's center. So here you can see this is one content, and we have a vertical scroll bar over here, and this is actually not required, but let's keep it here for now. So we have four different contents, right? Now let's go and give it a unique class for each content, right? So let's say, okay, let's say, sorry, here we're gonna say content -1. Now let's copy this, paste. You can give it different names, but for simplicity I'm just giving it like this. Here we'll say 4, here we'll say 3, and then 2. See, go to a style sheet, and here we'll say content -1, and we'll say background, let's say orange, right? So this is orange and others are not having any color. Let's copy this thing and let's paste it over here. Content 2, content 3, content 4, and instead orange we'll say sky blue, violet, and purple. Any random colors, that looks fine, right? So yeah, this is our 4 different sections, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's first code this thing. So it is going to be fixed on our right side exactly like this, right? So let's fix that thing. Let's go to the index.html file and copy this class name visit. Go over here, and here we'll say visit, and here we are going to say position, that is going to be the fixed, and top, that is going to be 0. So you can see it is coming over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now let's give it display, that's a flex, and flex direction is going to be the column, and now it is vertical, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, what we can do, we'll say from right, from right, let's say 20 pixel, and it is 20 pixel. Now we want this thing to be vertically centered. We have already given the flex, and direction is column, so we'll say justify content, that's the center. And this is the only required space it has taken, like from here to this 4. We need to have 100% height, so we can see the change. Height, we'll say 100 VH, and now it is 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see it's working fine, right? Now we don't need the numbers, so let's remove this thing. And here, let's go to style.css, and we'll say visit a, and we'll say first make the display block, and then width we're gonna say 10 pixel, height 10 pixel, border 1 pixel, solid hash 333, and border hyphen radius, let's say 50%, so it is circle, and width 20 pixel. Let's change this to reset, yeah, and let's have the margin as well, margin from all sides, let's say 10 pixel, right? Perfect. Now let's apply the background color as well, and here we're going to say RGB, red, green, blue, and opacity. So I will have a black color with opacity or transparency, I will say 0, and alpha here is a 0.3, right? So you can see it has no opacity. On different colors it will be different background, right? Perfect. Also you can apply the box hyphen shadow, let's say 0, 0, 10 pixel, and 0, and let's say gray, not green but gray, right? Perfect. So we have this thing. Now also we need to say cursor, that's a pointer. So I'm doing too much CSS, right? The purpose is to show you how you can have a vertical scroll, vertical navigation with wizards without having a vertical scroll bar, right? So just now let's come back to the logical part. So here the logical part is the container, right? And every content has a vertical height of 100 VH, that's equal to our screen or anyone's screen, right? So what we can do, if I will say container, so this is the container, everything is inside the container. So whatever the height of this content is 100 VH, so there is 4 contents, so 4 into 100, that's a 400. So height of the container will be 400, right? 400 VH. Here we'll say if top will only work with position relative, and here we'll say top and let's say minus 100 VH. What are we gonna see? So as you can see, by default I'm getting content. Actually this is the content 2. Yeah, so actually you can see the difference over here. Let's see this 2, 3 and 4. And now you can see this is the content 2, right? So the content 1 is behind the screen, not behind the screen, but we have given minus 100 VH, so it is just on the top. Before this content 2 means you can't see it, right, out of the viewport. Like this, if you give minus 200 over here, you can see the content 3 is visible, right? So we have to write a logic in JavaScript side, but initially it is going to be 0 for this. So it is the normal, right? And we don't need this scroll bar, so we are going to remove that scroll bar. We'll say body, and here overflow is going to be hidden. Now we don't have any scroll bar. And now let's go to our JavaScript part. So we need to include the script as well. So we'll say script and source, and here we'll say index.js, right? Now let's come to our index.js file. Okay, so here we'll first declare some variable. So here we'll say container equals to document dot query selector and dot container, right? Now const, another one is the visit, right? So we need the visit as well. Now visit equals to document dot query selector dot visit, right? And okay, that's fine. Okay, so when someone is going to click on this visit, means anchor tag, right? So we'll say visit dot add event listener, and we'll say click, and let's have a function with event, right? And console.log. Okay, let's have something. So the data, like you can number these things like content 1, 2, 3, 4. Internally we don't have anything over here, so we can write something like data equals to 1. There are a lot of different ways you can do this. You just need to have a particular number, right? Just to make sure in which section you want to navigate. So we'll say 4, right? Data 1, 2, 3, 4. Index.js, and here we'll say const data equals to event dot target dot get attribute, and we'll say data, right? And here is a console.log. Data will come over here, right? Now let's check this in the console. Is it working or not? Console, and let's remove this thing. And here we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. This is working. We're getting the right amount of right data, right? So we have this data over here. Now we need to ship this container. The only logic we need to do over here, say const container shift, container shift by top. So we are going to use CSS top property, just like I have just shown you over here. Right now it is 0. So with JavaScript we need to change the CSS property, right? So shift by top will say parse int, and here we'll pass data, so it will be a number, right? Instead of a string. Right now it is a string. Multiply with 100, so 100 VH is the actual size. So whenever whatever will get like 101, it means 1 into 100. So on click of that it will navigate to that, right? But for the first one, the first visit, the top position will be 0. So always we need to subtract with 100. So in this case for 1 we will get 100 minus 100, then this container shift by top will be 0, and you are not going to see any change, right? But when you click on the second visit, then you're going to get 2, and then 100 will be multiplied with 200, then minus 100, it will be 100, and then container will be shift by amount like 100, right? So here we're gonna say container dot style dot top equals to minus and dollar container shift by top. Okay, and also we need to put VH over here. So that's a unit of the CSS, right? Now let's check this thing working or not. Close this, and here right now we are on the content 1. Click on this, content 2, content 3, content 4, back to content 1, right? Absolutely fine. Now we need to have some animations, so it will be like awesome, right? So let's go to the style.css file, and this is the container which is actually changing top position, right? Every time whenever we are clicking on the visit, then container top property is getting changed from like 100 to 200, 200 to 300, and back to the 0. So we need to have a transition over the container top property. So we'll say transition, and we'll say top, and we are going to modify that. Let's have the animation timing for 2 seconds, and let's have animation right now is in. Definitely we're going to change that is in, right? And now save this and see. Okay, let's refresh, and content 2. So it's very linear, smooth, right? No, is in out. This is the name of the transition, right? Transition function, time function actually. This is in is the time function, right? Okay, cool. So here it is, and this is working well, right? So this is how you can implement. You can put a lot of content inside that. So this is your you can consider this each one as a page, right? Single screen, and you can put a lot of stuff inside that. So I've just given a content 1 and 2, right? You can put a lot of things. Also, the interesting part is, if you see over here, if you go, the animation is a bit different, right? It's starting slow and then ending. It's starting very fast and ends very slow, right? If you go down, see, it start very fast and ends very slow. Let's again, yeah, right, go back. So you can use a time function. I have used over here right now, that's is in, right? You can use a time function, cubic bezier, this one. So I have used this one. You can manipulate this as per your need, what kind of animation you want. So if I will take this, it will start very fast, it will end very fast. So it is going to be like, animation will begin very fast, and then it will be very slow, and then again it will be very fast. So here we'll have like this, and let's have this one like this, right? And let's copy this cubic bezier function. Instead of is in, you can replace this with this time function. Let's go and let's see. Sorry, that's not required, we're done. So go here and let's save this. Yeah, that same transition you have right now, right? So it's starting fast, ends very slow, right? This is perfect, right? Like this you can put, I have given this menu as well, me project overview. Same you can give over here, and the same functionality you have to add, right? So hopefully you are going to like this video. If you like this video, then don't forget to share and subscribe, and never forget to share, right? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a nice day.